Hey, so I was at a restaurant the other day, and I know it's hard to tell that I go to restaurants because I'm so slender, but I was sitting at Burger King. Some young guy was in there, and he was wolfing down his food, and I don't know, somehow we started a conversation. I said, "How you doing, buddy?" I was like, "I'm not very well." I'm like, "Well, no kidding, what's wrong? Everything all right?" And he's like, "Well, no, I'm going back to jail, and I don't know what to do with my house." Now, I'm a house guy, right? Mike, the house guy. And he's like, "I don't know what to do with my house." I'm like, "Well, my name's Mike. How you doing?" I get introduced myself. "Tell me what your situation is." "Well, I've got to go back to jail, blah, blah, blah. And I got this house, and I just want to sell it." I'm like, "Well, when can I look at it?" I said, "I just happen to buy houses." So we set up a time. I went look at it. When I got there, it was a little bit of a, I'm going to call it a junker house. Not too bad, but it was a real small. In fact, it broke all my rules. It was a tiny house. I always say buy at least 1,000 square foot. This was like under 800. I always say don't buy a house unless it has at least 3 bedrooms. This one only had 2. You know, it broke all the rules. But it had one thing going for it. Guess what? It was cheap because I could smell money. I was like, "Oh yeah, this one's going to make a buck or two, right?" Right? So I said, "What do you owe on the house?" "I don't owe nothing. I bought it back when I got a settlement, blah, blah, blah. I had an accident." I said, "What do you take for it?" To make a long story real short, I bought the whole house. You ready? $17,000. I paid him in cash. Now, he said, "Well, I'm going back to jail. How fast would we close?" I think I'm going. I said, "When you go back to jail?" He said, 3 weeks. I said, "I can close this week. I just got to have the title company do a quick search, make sure it's clear title." I did that. Got the whole thing figured out, and I gave him his money. And you know what? That young man, I think his name was Damien. I bought the house. This has been a few months now, but I bought this house from Damien, and he got $17,000 in his pocket minus his share of the closing costs. I explained to him there's standard customary that he pay the closing costs since I'm buying the house cash, right? Pretty good deal. So he agreed. I think he walked away with a little over $15,000 or $15,700 in his pocket. And the good news about Damien is he had a whale of a great time for the next 3 weeks. In fact, he got some new hot chick, and I seen him around town. I said, "How you doing?" And she said, "He's my man. He's so handsome." And I could tell that she was somebody he met at a party. And in fact, I ended up seeing her later, and sure enough, he went to jail and the money was gone, and then she no longer had her man. But that doesn't matter to me because I picked up the house. I ran an ad. Now, my options were what? I could sell on terms, I could lease the option, I could rent it, I could do whatever. That house right now nets me $650 a month, and I got $17,000 laid out. Now, if you do the math, if you take $17,000 and divide that by $600, $650 a month, it's not going to take very long to make money, right? The moral of the story is, not that this is not an interesting, fun-filled, exciting story, but the moral of the story is always keep your antennas up, keep your ears open, keep your eyes peeled. You never know when you're going to run into somebody that needs to sell a house, right? Thank God I went to Burger King that day. I mean, otherwise, if I'd have been out dieting and exercising, I wouldn't have got that deal. Now, that part there might be my own spin on it, but hey, this is Mike. Just wanted to tell you about that property. I think you like it.